Here's where we're going to start. I want you to write this down. If you change the way you think about yourself, excuse me, scratch that. I'm going to make a statement here first. You need to change the way you think about yourself. If you want things to change, Jim Rohn says you have to change. That's a huge nugget. It's a simple statement, but it's a huge nugget. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. He also says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Right? But in order for things to change, we have to start here. Write this quote down as well. Your mind dictates your economy. How many people knew that? Your mind will dictate your economy. See, they're sending out these stimulus checks. It's to stimulate their economy. But are you stimulating your economy? Right? And that's our message to the people that we are inviting to take a look at our business. Use that stimulus check to stimulate your personal economy, not the world's economy, right? Because you are a better investment than Wall Street. I'll bet on myself any day of the week, right? Here's some questions I want you to ponder, and then we're going to jump into this presentation. Here's a question, self-reflecting questions. We're in the midst of a crisis right now. We're working our business in the midst of a crisis right now, which means there are decisions we have to make, right? Because we're in the midst of this crisis. And one of our decisions was to work this business. It's a season of preparation so that we can be ready to grow our business. We should be growing ourselves during this time of quarantine. We should be sowing into ourselves and our business so that we can reap a harvest. But here's some questions. What am I doing right now that's going to be right for tomorrow? Because we're creating new habits right now in quarantine. We're creating new habits. What are those habits? Are you prospecting more? Are you working your business on social media more? Are you sending an invitation to review this business opportunity? You sending out videos? Are you getting certifications? Are you specializing in certain areas of travel? What are you doing right now that's going to be right for you and yours tomorrow? Because here's the thing, opportunities are going to come. People are ready for something new. People are even ready to travel. And here's the question. When those opportunities for people to sign up or those opportunities to book more travel, when they come, will you be prepared? You need to be prepared to seize the moment, right? So let's jump in. Man, belief. Belief is the fuel that's going to make your dreams come true, right? The word impossible, if you take the first two letters and scoot them to the left, turns into I'm possible. When you believe things are possible to you, nothing's going to stop you. When you understand that success takes time, belief means things are not going to happen when you want them to, but it means that as long as you don't quit, they will eventually happen. It may not happen when you want it, but it will happen if you don't stop working. Here's a diagram that breaks it down perfectly. At the top of this pyramid, you see results. And I don't know what your results have been. You've been prospecting and you have certain results. You've been telling people about your business and you have certain results. Only you know your work ethic. But there are some things that attribute to our successes. And they start with your thoughts about your business, right? And this is what some people have positive thoughts, and some people have what I call stinking thinking, right? Your thoughts lead to your beliefs, what you believe. Your belief about a thing is based on the experiences that you have. Your experience create belief, right? The things, it reinforces your thoughts and things that have happened to you reinforce your belief. Those beliefs dictate what you do, your actions, right? And when you do actions long enough, they become habits, and your habits leads to your results, right? So let's talk about it. Um, we said that belief is the fuel to making your dreams and goals a reality. Believing doesn't mean everything happens when you want them to, but it means that they will eventually happen. Here's the thing. My belief is so strong that when I told people I was going to earn six figures, they laughed at me. They thought I was silly for spending so much time working on my little business, my pyramid scheme. I was ridiculed. I was joked. People talked about me. People judged me. My colleagues, my fellow principals thought I was wasting my time. They was like, Nate, why are you focus on being a principal? Go get your PhD. Let's become a superintendent. You know, they couldn't shift their thinking, but my belief was so strong, the people around me thought I was crazy. That's how you know when your belief is strong. When people around you think that you're crazy for what you, it's crazy when they think. That's why I asked you the question, what can you do? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? You said be a millionaire in this business. Do people think that's crazy? Well, here's what I love about it. I tell people, I don't mind that you think that I'm crazy because normal people are broke. Come on here, somebody. Normal people are broke. I don't mind if you think I'm crazy, right? Because here's the thing. Take Henry Ford. Most people, if you had asked them in that time, hey, what do you want? How do you want to improve transportation? What do you want? They would have said, I want faster horses. I want my horse to go faster. Henry Ford didn't think that. He said, I want to create something totally different. I want to create a wagon that moves without horses. He was crazy for thinking that because everybody else just wanted faster horses. He wanted to create something totally new. The person who created the telephone said, you know what? How do you guys want to improve communication? They said, oh, we just need to spend more time together. No, he said, I want to talk to people who aren't even here. Telephone created. You got to be crazy and you got to believe it in order to make things happen. Here's the thing about experience. The things you experience will validate what you believe, but you got to guard your gates. You got eye gates. That's why we say stay plugged in, right? Because what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you listening to? What are you telling yourself? In the chat area, how many people have said this out of their own mouth? This business is hard. Be honest. In the chat. Who has thought or said out of their mouth that this business is hard? Right? It's going to be some gut checks before we're done tonight. I see a lot of me's. Come on, why this screen won't minimize? Wow, that's a lot of me's, right? That's what we call, hold up, that's what we call a limiting belief, guys. How many people have said, not just this is hard, I can't talk to people. I'm not good at talking to people, right? Please make sure your lines are muted, guys. You got to be careful what you speak. You got to be careful what you're listening to. You have to turn those limiting beliefs upside down. I'm going to give you an assignment. Every limiting belief that you have about yourself or your business. I'm not a good speaker. I stutter. I don't know enough. I'm not an orator. I'm scared of presenting. I'm scared of talking to people. I'm not good at this. I don't like reject. Whatever that limiting belief is, I want you to write a list of all your limiting beliefs, and I want you to write those limiting beliefs on every other line. This is a homework assignment for you. Every other line. And I want you to write those limiting beliefs in pencil. And then on those blank lines, I want you to write an affirmation that's the opposite of that limiting belief. I want you to say, if your limiting belief is, I'm not good at recruiting, I want you to then write in ink, pen, permanent ink pen on the blank line, I am grateful and thankful for talking to people with ease. Or I'm thankful and grateful that I am a top recruiter in this organization. I want you to take that limiting belief and I want you to turn it into a positive affirmation. And for the next 7 days, when you wake up, I want you to read the positive. I want you to read the positive. But on that first day, when you write them, read the limiting beliefs, but then I want you to go back with an eraser and I want you to erase everything that was in pencil because it no longer applies to you. And I only want you to think on, renew your mind with, say out of your mouth the new affirmation. And I want you, before you make phone calls, read all those affirmations. Before you start doing any work on your business, read all those affirmations because you need to go through a period of time of reprogramming your mind so that you begin to believe. It says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Well, these affirmations are going to be your evidence until the manifestation comes. Because you're going to see it every day. You're going to say it every day. You're going to hear yourself say it every day. And I dare you to send your new affirmations to whoever your coach is or whoever your sponsor is so they can repeat it to you every day. Write this quote down. As a man or woman thinketh, so is she, or so is he. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a woman thinketh, so is she. You want to know what I attribute all my success to? Going 1 star in 40 days, going 2 star, 3 star, and then getting the 6-figure ring inside of 7 months. I attribute all of my success to out-believing other people. I out-believe other people. You're not going to out-believe me. Ray, do me a favor. Mute your online for me. It's not allowing me to mute you for some reason. You're not going to out-believe me. See, here's the difference. When I'm talking to a prospect, especially somebody that I know, they might not believe in my business. They might not believe in me working my business. But they're going to walk away knowing that I believe in my business. They're going to say, that fool really think this business going to work. They're going to walk away with that before anything else. And that's how you're going to get people. They're going to be like, man, well, maybe he's on to something. And then as they see my success, they're going to be like, he was on to something. And that doesn't mean everybody's going to join, but there's been so many people who watched me over the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, who've come on in later years because I believed, and then they saw me. Cut that light on, please. So that they now want to be a part, right? Somebody said this is Bible study. No, it's just principles, right? I attribute all of my success to our belief. When I was going to sleep, I would, after I said my prayers, after I did all I had to do, I would visualize 8,333. And this was, I was a one star. I was a one star, making just a couple thousand, right? Matter of fact, let me even go back before that. When I was trying to get to $2,000 a month, I visualized the check coming in every night. And I drifted off to sleep with that thought. And I would always say out of my mouth when I was doing my affirmations, I would always double my income when I said my affirmations. I'm thankful and grateful for making $5,000 a month. And I was only at 2,500. And when I got to 5,000, I was, I didn't double it, but then I was like, I added 2,000 to it. I was like, I'm thankful and grateful for 7,000 a month. I'm thankful and grateful for 8,333. And now I'm thankful and grateful for 10 grand. And then I'm thankful and grateful for 15 grand. That's what I believe. Because see, when you can get it in here, your subconscious makes you take the necessary actions to make what you believe come to true. Now, if you don't believe it, then your subconscious is going to make you sabotage yourself because you're going to always end up back to what you believe. If you don't believe it, you're going to always come back to where you believe. That's why you got to lift your level of consciousness. You got to, people in medicine talk about the placebo effect. It only worked because he believed. Yeah, that's called faith. Scientists write it off as the placebo effect, but it was faith that worked. Let's talk about this. Let's go to this slide. Let me know if this is helping you so far. See, it's something called fear, doubt, and unbelief. Because if I can get, right now it's 51 people on the line. If I can get you to believe that you're going to be a director come September and you believe it, you will do the work. If you could get rid of the limiting beliefs that are the hurdles to your business, you will do the work with enthusiasm, with excitement, and you will transfer that excitement to the people you're talking to. Fear, doubt, and unbeliefs are the giants in the land. And I'm telling you, you can slay those giants because what kills fear, doubt, and unbelief? Information, new experiences, new wins, new thoughts will crush fear, doubt, and unbelief. Fear is false expectations. You're creating false expectations and making them manifest because you believe in those expectations. You expect to do poorly and you do a great job of hitting that goal. You expect to get only no's and you hit that goal. You got to change the goal. You have to believe, I know I'm going to get some no's, but I'm going to get yeses as I go through the no's. If you believe that, the yeses will show up. If you believe you're going to go bronze, silver, gold, it'll happen. But if you expect not to, you get what you believe. That's right. You can't have a goal. You can't say all these affirmations and then don't go to work. That's like saying, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. But if you never go to undergrad, how's that going to happen? If you never take science, if you never take genetics, if you never take anatomy and physiology, if you don't study, how can you be approved to go to med school if you don't study and take the coursework? That's like saying, I'm going to drive, I'm going to get my driver's license. If you never put the key in the car and turn the ignition on, the car will never move. You can have all the desire in the world. If you don't have the keys to drive the vehicle, The car will never move. Real talk. Guys, if you don't like the fruit, you got to change the root. And the root are your thoughts. Now, this slide, I hope it works because I told you I only had 20 minutes to put this together. But if it come off, you got to give me my props. Change the root if you don't like the fruit. Look at this root. I'm not good enough. Right? And you can put any negative thought down here. If that's the root, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. If that's what you're playing in your head and rehearsing in your mind, that's what gets strong. You're exercising a thought that becomes cock diesel in your mind. It comes strong. It's a stronghold thought in your mind. So guess what shows up as fruit? Self-sabotage results. Let's go to the next root. I'm afraid of rejection. Afraid of failure. What's your fruit? Your fruit, you don't talk to people. That fear paralyzes you. That phone becomes 100 pounds, right? Let's go to the next root. It's a pyramid and no one will join me. Guess what? Your expectations, your goal comes true. You fail. Nobody joins you. You're afraid of failure. Guess what? You end up not taking enough activity. You're going to miss 100% of the shots you never take. If you never take the winning shot, you'll never win the game. If you never take a shot at all, you'll never score points. But let's flip it. Let's go to the positive. I can do anything I set my mind to. You keep rehearsing that in your mind. You keep exercising that in your mind. You strengthen that as a stronghold thought in your mind. And your fruit is rank advancement. I expect people to like my business. Guess what? New team members. You begin to think, man, this is the best opportunity on the planet. Guess what happens? You find more clients and members. You expect success. Guess what happens if that's your goal? That's your stronghold thought. You achieve your goals. Come on, somebody. Change the root and you will change the fruit. Again, check on learning. If this is helping you, let me know. Look at this word closely. Look at this word closely. See, once you make the decision, I'm going to be successful in this business, whether you're booking, whether you're booking or whether you are building a team. And guys, give me permission. It's 9:52. If I do this whole training, we're going to go over time. Do I have permission to keep you for an extra 10 minutes tonight, 10 or 15 minutes tonight? Do I have permission to keep you for an extra 10 to 15 minutes tonight? I want to value your time. All right. And if you have to fall off, you watch the recording. Okay. Thank you. All right. In the midst of this word called believe, what's the word that shows up? Right in the middle, right smack there. As soon as you say, man, you got all this positive emotion. I'm going to start this business. I love booking trips for people anyway. Now I can get paid on it. When I book my own, I'm going to make money. I'm going to write it off for my taxes. I'm going to build a massive team. I'm going to make residual income. And then your best friend laughs at you. Your spouse doesn't support you. Your mama tells you it's one of them things, you shouldn't do it. You get somebody to sign up and then they quit. Then these lies show up. these lies begin to show up telling you you can't do, you shouldn't do, it's not happening fast enough, you're not good enough, it must be you because other people are winning, why you not winning? The lies show up. Then you begin to rationalize, ration the lies. And that emotion of expectation, that emotion, that excitement that you had in the beginning, it leaves you and your commitment now wanes. Because see, the definition of commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the emotion you set it in has left you. So when the emotion of excitement and happiness and all that leaves, will you still stay committed and prove the lie wrong? And here's the thing, guys, if you're going to lie, you see the first two letters B, if you're going to be lying to yourself, lie something good. Lie, I'm going to be a goal builder. I'm going to be a 1-star. I'm going to be a 2-star. I'm going to be a 6-figure earner. Be lying something positive. Don't be lying something negative. Once you make that decision to believe, challenges show up. Now this one, when I got this revelation I'm about to share with you, it came straight from the throne room. It came straight from God, not to offend anybody. But I was meditating. I was like, God, why am I having all these challenges in my business? And I knew that it was meant for me to go through all of these things so that I could one day have value to help other people go through those things. Why am I not winning? Because you need to know what it's like. So when you become the leader I'm calling you to be, you can help people go through these phases and these stages. Challenges are going to show up. How you deal with them will dictate your end result. The challenges are like the winds of life. The winds of life they blow on us all. They blow on successful people, unsuccessful people, the tall people, the short people, the disabled people, the healthy people, the sick people, the males, the females. The winds of life blow on us all. Challenges blow on us all, but it's the set of your sail that dictates where you end up. It's the set of your sail. See, here's the thing about challenges. You see the LLE in the middle of this word challenge? See, there's a stealthiness to the enemy make you listen to negative thoughts. And the enemy might be the inner me. Come on. It might not be your friends and family. It might not be this invisible negative entity. It might be you. But stealthily, these lies creep back in our minds as soon as a challenge comes up. Soon as a challenge comes up, the lie shows back up. Ooh, Because if you turn that middle L to a capital I, the lie shows back up. It was hidden in the challenge. The lie was hidden in the challenge, but it became a capital I, and the lie shows back up, telling you when the first challenge comes, you can't do it. You sign up 3 people, 1 quit. You sign up 10 people, 3 quit. Somebody tell you they're coming to your travel party and they're around the corner and never show up. The lie shows back up. But when you can remove the lie, when you can remove the lie, when you can remove the lie, what's left? When you remove the lie out of challenge, change comes up. That one came straight. If you hear anybody ever say that, either they was in the same meditation space as me or they got it from me. Change shows up. If you can remove the lies in the midst of your challenge, whatever your challenges are, whether it's your thoughts, remove those lying thoughts, change happens. Remove those lying people in your circle, change happens. Think about when you remove negative eating, guess what? Your body changed. I lost 40 pounds. Why? Because I removed the lie that I couldn't do it. I removed the lie that I needed the French fry. I removed the lie that I needed all the fast foods. So the change happened when I removed the lie that was in the midst of my challenge called overweight. When you remove the lie, change happens. The lie is, I'm just like my daddy. I'm just me. That's just who I am. You ever hear somebody say that? That's just who I am. Well, change who you are. That's easy. Well, that's just me. I'm shy. Oh, well, you change. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. Okay, well, what does that have to do with work ethic? Well, I don't like calling people. Okay, remove that lie and change will come. Faith is like the wings. You can't see it, but you know it's right there. It's right there if you believe. So here's where I'm going to add on to what I just shared with you with some stories so that you see how this works. Why am I called Mr. Belief? Because my whole life has been about belief. I remember not applying for college. And I was a student aide for my guidance counselor. And she realized I hadn't applied. I'm setting all these appointments for other seniors to meet with colleges. And she was like, Nate Newman, you haven't applied to any school. The only school whose deadline I hadn't missed was Morgan's. She paid for my application fee. I knew my parents didn't have money for school. I knew nothing about grants or student loans, none of that. But I knew I wanted. I was the only reason I went to freshman orientation because my best friend Michael Pratt was also going to freshman orientation. His parents took me. My parents was like, "Well, it's free, so I mean, I guess you can go, but we really don't have the money." I wasn't hearing none of that. I went to freshman orientation. My parents really couldn't afford the tuition. They tried. I showed up. I went to school. No money. By the end of that year, now I didn't do that well. I flunked out. I partied too much, right? Just real talk. Had a huge bill at the end of the year because my parents didn't have the money. But I was so determined to go back. Here's the beginning of my belief journey. When I was trying to go back, everybody was telling me, oh, you should save some money. Why are you applying to go back now? You don't have enough money. You owe this bill. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, nah, I'm going back. I didn't know how I was going to go back, but I said, I'm going back, and I'm going back next semester. Didn't know how I was going back. I was in an unfortunate car accident where I received a lot of money, well, not a lot to me back then. And and my bill was like 10 grand. Man, that was the hardest 10 grand I ever had to give up. I went to the window, gave the lady the money. She grabbed it, but I didn't let go. I was holding on to that $10,000, right? And she was like, baby, you are making the right decision. And she snatched the money, right? Went back to school. Long story short, I didn't have enough money for tuition. So I went to the financial aid office on a Monday. Met with the counselor. She's like, Mr. Newman, there's nothing that we can do. Your parents make too much money for you to get financial aid. You're not independent. Nothing we can do. All right, cool. Something just told me, go back the next day. I went back the next day. She said, Mr. Newman, we talked yesterday. I said, yeah, I just want you to double check. Whoop-de-whoop, da-da-da-da. She's like, there's nothing we can do to help you, Mr. Newman. Okay, cool. Went back the next day. There's nothing we can do to help you, Mr. I know, but that was yesterday. Sat there the next day, all day. Went back the next day. The head of financial aid said, Mr. Newman, come back here with me. It's clear that you are determined to go to school. Let me see what I can do to help you. He found me 2 different grants. It wasn't enough. He said, this is enough to pay for tuition, but it's not enough to pay for your housing. I suggest you go to the housing department. The next week, went to the housing department. Monday, nothing we can do to help you, Mr. Newman. Okay, cool. And I'm thinking, shoot, it worked last week. I'm going to just keep showing up this week. Tuesday, went back. Wednesday, went back. Mr. Newman, we told you yesterday there's nothing we can do to help you. I know, but that was yesterday. Went back on Thursday. And mind you, no air conditioning, guys. This is back when there was no air conditioning. It was hot. It was hot. Sweating. Sat there all day. Ignored me. I'm talking to the secretaries. I'm getting to know them by name. They know me. I went back on a Friday. Now they know me. Sat there all day. The guy was coming out. Matter of fact, before he came out, the secretaries left, cut the lights out, gone. They was like, baby, we've been praying for you all week. We're going to go ahead and go. He about to come out. I advise you get him as he coming out. Because the dude wouldn't see me. Because I kept coming. He was like, look, don't even send him back here to me. So they let me wait. They was like, baby, we've been praying for you. Good luck. Right? He came out. Mr. Newman, I thought I told you is nothing like I said. I know, sir, that was yesterday. He said, come on back here with me. Went back to his office. He sat me down. He leaned back. He's like, boy, you are persistent. He said, look, I got this key. If anybody find out I gave you this key, I don't know you. There's a young man in the dorm and nobody wants to be his roommate because they say he's a devil worshiper. I'm going to give you this key. I took that key so fast. I said, thank you. I said, I believe in Jesus. I'll be just fine, right? I had free housing and my tuition was taken care of for an entire school year because I believed, people. I believed. It didn't stop there. It's time for graduation. I'm sending out invitations. I'm telling people, come see me walk. Come get my degree. First person in my family to get a degree. 2 weeks before graduation, I get a letter saying I need to take 2 more classes because they put me in a new catalog. I appealed. It was denied. I still told my family to come. I had my professor write a letter. Second appeal, denied. Third appeal, wrote another letter. The day that I got the letter saying I could walk and graduate was the day of graduation. What if I didn't believe? I graduated because I believed. I imagined the possibilities. I had put the work in. When it was time for me to go into education, I applied. I interviewed. The principal wanted to hire me. I go down to HR. The head of HR says, you're not qualified to teach our kids. I'm not hiring you. What? I called Mr. Michael Pratt. His daddy knows this guy. They good friends. I asked Dad, that's what I called him. I called Mike Pratt's dad, I need you to holler at your boy. He does. I go back. I don't care who you know, Mr. Newman. I said, you're not qualified to teach our children. No. I go on another interview. I'm in the interview, and again, I'm not preaching, but I'm just telling my story. I prayed. God said, if you say my name in the interview, job is yours. I'm like, God, this separation of church and state. I can't go in there and saying your name. I go in. I'm looking for a strategic way to say Jesus. And it's a Caucasian guy. Just real talk. I'm extra nervous. I'm like, I can't say Jesus. Then he gonna judge me. He not gonna hire me. So we're talking. He was like, well, Mr. Newman, it seems like you really like kids. And I'm going to have the head of our department, English department, walk you around and give you a tour. And I said, look, I said it real low. I said, well, thank you, Jesus. He was like, excuse me? I got scared. He was like, Mr. Newman. I said, yes. He said, are you a believer? I said, yes. He said, so am I. Then I got bold. I was like, thank you, Jesus, right? Now I'm bold with it, right? He was like, then he lit up. He said, well, look, let me call Miss Williams down and walk you around. So Miss Williams is walking me around, and she keeps saying, well, when you're hired, and she would say, excuse me, I'm so sorry, if you're hired. But she kept saying, this will be your class. I mean, well, if you're hired, it's your class. Then she said, you know what? I'm just going to stop. We're just going to go ahead and claim this thing for you right now. I don't know why, but we're just going to go ahead and pray about it. Let's pray. And I'm looking at Jesus like, are you serious right now? Okay. So then she introduced me to the principal, right? The principal, this is Nate Newman. He just interviewed. I'm giving him a tour. The lady looks at me. She looks at me. She says, She asked me a few questions. We dialogue. She said, you know what? I don't normally do this, but something is just telling me to hire you. You're hired. Hired me on the spot. Okay, cool. Go back to HR. I don't care who wants you, Mr. Newman. I said you're not qualified, and I'm not hiring you. Mind you, school starts next Monday. This is like a Wednesday. He tells me no. Here's how much I believed in what I heard versus what the guy told me. Even though he told me he wasn't going to hire me, how many of y'all know I went back to that school the next day and started decorating my room? I started preparing lesson plans for a job I was told 3 times I couldn't have. Bold, right? I went back on that Friday. He said, Mr. Newman, I don't know why all these people like you. He said, I'm not going to give you any benefits. I'm going to hire you as a per diem. And back then that was fancy talk for long-term sub. How many people know I took the job? I was the teacher there, and that was my entry to education, and I was certified the next year. All because I believed. I got married that same year. I wore a picture of a ring that my wife wanted. I wore that ring around my neck for a whole 7 months at a previous job and kept it in my wallet pocket while I taught the whole first year. I didn't have the money to buy the ring. I didn't have good credit to get the ring on credit. We're 2 weeks away from the wedding. She has no wedding ring. My mother and my grandmother are telling me, boy, you better go just buy something cheap because it don't look good that she don't have a ring on her finger. Out of nowhere, the government sent me a check that I didn't know I deserved. It was a nice lump sum of money. I went back to the mall, went to every place. They told me no. And I said, come on, I thought you said, I thought this was, I looked up and saw one more jewelry store that I had not seen. I felt like I was given words to say. I go to the lady, I say the words, and she says, my supervisor normally doesn't make deals like this, but let me go ask. The guy looks at me, looks at the ring, looks at me, looks at the ring, shakes his head yes. The lady gets full of excitement, comes running over to me and said, let's do this now before he changes his mind. How many people know my wife got the ring she wanted for half the cost because I never gave up belief? Never gave up belief. Till this day, she will not let me upgrade her ring because of how special that ring is to her. The story goes on and on. Guys, I went from being a teacher to a peer mediator to a Title I coordinator to an assistant principal to a principal all within 5 years. I was the first person to almost skip and go from teacher to principalship. The only reason I didn't get a principalship straight out the classroom is because it would have been a lawsuit. So after the year had started, he sent me to another school as an AP for less than 10 months and became principal the next year. Unheard of. Because I believed I would be a principal. So I'm not telling you something I haven't lived. I'm not telling you something that's not true. I believed my way all the way up to 6 figures, and I'm going to believe my way all up to being a millionaire. And here's the other thing I believe. I was told that anybody who follows my leadership will get the same blessings as me. So I'm pouring my belief out to you tonight. I'm not preaching, I'm teaching. I'm trying to empower you, impart unto you a heavy dose of belief. And if you receive it, if you begin to renew your mind with some new thoughts, if you begin to create some new affirmations, and then take that belief, that faith, right, and put some work ethic to it, those 10 prospects, believing that you're not trying to sign somebody up, but believe that you're trying to change somebody's life is a shift. That's a different thought. I got something that's going to save somebody's life. I got something that's going to transform somebody's family. Because see, this money has transformed my family. If I didn't have this extra income, we'd be in some serious, serious problems right now. Guys, this is not hype. This is just me coaching from my heart. And that's what you're going to get for the rest of the time that you follow me. I gave an invitation out for people who wanted to be coached to go to a high level in this company. And only about 35 people from this branch that I'm coaching, out of almost 700 people, only 35 people accepted the challenge. They're going to get some high level coaching because it's time for them to start eating meat. They've been here long enough. But everybody that's under the sound of my voice, if you want to go win, I'm going to give you everything that I got. The only thing I need from you is that you trust me. Ride my belief until yours kicks in. Follow my vision until you can see it for yourself. Trust your coach. And then trust yourself in the midst of the process, because you have to become a different person to get some different results. If you work hard, as hard as you work on your job, if you decide to work that hard on yourself, the rest will take care of itself. So guys, that's my training. 10:15. That's my training. Let me know in the chat if this has helped anybody. If this has helped you and you're ready to make a new commitment to changing how you think, a new commitment to feeling the fear and doing it anyway, a new commitment to exercise long enough that this new zone that's uncomfortable becomes comfortable. And guess what? When you're working new muscles, you get sore. It hurts. That's because your body is tearing and breaking down the muscle because it's mad that you're making it do something it's not used to doing. But then when it tears and it rips and it breaks and you sore, it's coming back stronger and harder. So the next time that you do that to the muscle, it can do it and it won't hurt. Guys, the pain that you feel is just you being prepared for greatness. That's weakness leaving the body. Exercise long enough that it no longer hurts. See, when rejection no longer hurts, when people saying no longer hurts, when people quitting no longer hurts, and you look at it from the point of view that you're only here to save somebody, to help somebody, because service to many leads to greatness, that's when that positive energy that's exuding off of you, that those positive vibrations that's exuding off of you begins to be transferred to others, and that belief and that light and that excitement becomes contagious, and you start beginning to light the flame of other people. That's when your team will grow. So for those of you who have all the how-tos down, but you didn't have the belief, let's marry the two. And for those of you who had the belief, but you don't have the how-tos, let's get the how-tos and let's bring the belief and the work ethic together and go win. With that, guys, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it but love me back. It's time for us to take charge. With that, God bless. Take care. Take charge. If you need me, reach out to me or Kim or any of the other directors. Let's go make this happen. Let's be the baddest team on the planet. Have a great week on purpose, guys. Don't forget Wednesday night. Let's load it up.